Upon his arrival at Nandigram, Hanuman saw Bharata dressed in tree bark and wearing matted hair. Bharata was living in a small cottage and subsisting only on fruits and roots, and Bharata appeared to be very miserable and emaciated. Hanuman then approached Bharata. "I have come as a messenger from your brother Ram. He inquires about your welfare and wishes to inform you that he will soon return to Ayodhya." When he heard these glorious words, Bharata's face immediately lit up with great delight. Then, becoming exhilarated with transcendental emotion, Bharata fainted to the ground. And upon coming to his senses, Bharata stood up and embraced Hanuman with great satisfaction. Then, while bathing Hanuman with torrents of tears, Bharata spoke. "Oh, because you have brought me this good news, I shall immediately reward you with 100,000 cows, 100 villages, and 16 virgin girls for you to marry. Now please, sit down and tell me everything that has happened during Ram's exile." And once Hanuman had finished telling Bharata everything about Ram's exile, up to the point of his imminent return, Bharata then exclaimed, "Indeed, my long-cherished wish has finally become fulfilled." Bharata then ordered Shatrughna to make all arrangements for Ram's reception. Thus, Sumantra and the other ministers soon arrived at Nandigram, riding upon elephants. Kaushalya, Sumitra, and even Kaikeyi arrived on palanquins, while engineers hurriedly constructed a new road connecting Nandigram with Ayodhya. After all arrangements had been made, Bharata picked up Ram's sandals, a white royal umbrella, and chamara whisks. Then, accompanied by many brahmanas, Bharata left his cottage amidst the blowing of conchs and the beating of drums. The news of Ram's arrival had spread instantly, and almost the entire population of Ayodhya came to Nandigram hoping to see Ram. Bharata was accompanied by ministers, priests, and other respectable citizens, and also by professional musicians vibrating pleasing musical sounds, and by learned brahmanas loudly chanting Vedic hymns. Following in the procession were chariots drawn by beautiful horses with harnesses made of golden rope. These chariots were decorated by flags with golden embroidery and by other flags of various sizes and patterns. There were soldiers bedecked with golden armor, servants bearing betel nut, and many well-known and beautiful society girls. Many servants followed on foot, bearing an umbrella, whisks, different grades of precious jewels, and other paraphernalia just befitting a royal reception. However, when after some time there was no sign of Ram, Bharata anxiously said to Hanuman, "Oh, I hope that you are not exhibiting your frivolous monkey nature by joking with me." But just then, Hanuman pointed to the distance where clouds of dust were being raised by the approaching monkeys. A far-off roaring sound then came to be heard. When Hanuman suddenly sighted the Pushpaka chariot in the distance, he shouted out, "Here comes Shree Ram!" A loud, spontaneous cheer suddenly arose from the crowd as they too sighted the Pushpaka chariot, which appeared to be just like the full moon rising in the sky. Everyone respectfully got down from their chariots, elephants, and horses as Bharata began worshipping Ram from a distance. With folded hands, Bharata recited prayers glorifying Lord Ram, and he offered water and other paraphernalia in worship. Finally, when Bharata could clearly see Ram glowing magnificently at the front of the Pushpaka chariot, Bharata bowed down with the greatest of reverence. As the celestial airship landed, Bharata rushed forward and climbed onto the chariot to greet his older brother. Ram immediately got up from his seat to embrace Bharata, taking him on his lap. Bharata, his heart softened in ecstasy and his eyes full of tears, approached Lord Ramachandra and fell at Ram's lotus feet in great ecstatic love. Lord Ram saw that Bharata was much emaciated and heard that in his absence, Bharata was eating only barley cooked in the urine of a cow, covering his body with the bark of trees, wearing matted locks of hair, and lying on a mattress of kusha grass. The most merciful Lord Ram very much lamented this. Afterwards, Bharata greeted Lakshman and Sita, showering them with praise. Bharata then greeted Sugriva by embracing him. Although we are four, you are now just like our fifth brother. Meanwhile, Ram approached his mother Kaushalya and lovingly clasped her feet. Then one after another, Ram greeted Sumitra, Kaikeyi, and the sage Vasistha, while all the citizens came forward with folded hands to welcome Ram. Accompanied by Sita and Lakshman, Lord Ramachandra then offered his respectful obeisances unto the learned Brahmanas and the elderly persons in the family, and all the citizens of Ayodhya offered their respectful obeisances unto the Lord. The citizens of Ayodhya, upon seeing their king return after a long absence, offered him flower garlands, waved their upper cloths, and danced in great jubilation. Thereafter, Bharata came before Ram with Ram's wooden shoes in hand. While carefully placing the slippers upon Ram's lotus feet, Bharata said, "Here is the kingdom I have overseen in your absence. And by your mercy, Ayodhya is flourishing, and the treasury, storehouses, and army have all increased tenfold. My duty is now over, and I hereby relinquish everything unto you." After offering the wooden shoes before Lord Ramachandra, Lord Bharata stood with folded hands, his eyes full of tears, and Lord Ramachandra also bathed Bharata with his tears while embracing him with both arms for a long time. And after this, Ram ordered the Pushpaka chariot to return to its rightful owner, the god of wealth, Kuvera. Thus, the celestial vehicle ascended into the sky, heading towards the north. Then, as Ram sat at the feet of his spiritual master Vasistha, Bharata came before him and requested, "My dear elder brother, please install yourself upon the royal throne without further delay and resume a life of royal luxury." Lord Ramachandra then entered Ayodhya in the midst of a great festival. He was greeted on the road by the princely order, who showered his body with beautiful fragrant flowers, while great personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods glorified the activities of Lord Ram in great jubilation. The family priest Vasistha had Lord Ramachandra cleanly shaved, freeing him from his matted locks of hair. After bathing, Ram at last again dressed in royal style and was decorated with a garland and ornaments. The three queen mothers similarly adorned Sita, and the wives of the monkeys were similarly dressed and ornamented. Next, at Shatrughna's command, Sumantra came before Ram with a lavishly decorated chariot. Ram graciously mounted it, and Bharata took up the reins, while Shatrughna held the royal white umbrella. On either side of Ram stood Lakshman and Vibhishan, waving a fan and chamara whisk, while from the sky, demigods and celestial rishis glorified Ram with carefully chosen words. And as Ram proceeded towards Ayodhya, a huge procession followed him, as all the monkeys, appearing in human form, rode upon elephants. Thereafter, when Ram entered his capital, he saw how all the citizens had come out of their houses, lining the streets just to welcome him. Men and women, children, and the elderly all gazed upon Ram as though they were getting back their very lost lives. While waving their upper cloths and jumping with excitement, the people shouted out, "Oh, our beloved prince has finally returned! All glories to Lord Ram, the maintainer of his devotees." Amidst the playing of musicians and the chanting of Vedic hymns, Ram glanced lovingly over his subjects. Ram greeted his ministers and described to them his political alliances with the monkeys and Vibhishan. Thus, Ram came to his father's palace. Next, Ram ordered that his own palace be given for Sugriva's use. Bharata then took the monkey king by the hand and led him there. At Bharata's request, Jambavan, Hanuman, Gavaya, and Rishabha brought water from the four seas, while 500 powerful monkeys brought water from 500 sacred rivers. The vessels of water were then placed before Vasistha, and thereafter the rishi seated Ram and Sita upon a throne made of valuable jewels. Assisted by rishis such as Vamadev, Jabali, Kashyapa, Katyayana, Suyagya, Gautama, and Vijay, Vasistha performed the bathing ceremony with the first ablutions performed by Brahmanas. Next, Ram was bathed by a virgin girl, followed by his minister and the leading warriors and Vaishyas one after another. And after the final bathing, Vasistha ordered the four Lokapalas and other chief demigods witnessing the coronation from the sky to sprinkle Ram with herbs. Then, as Ram sat upon a golden throne bedecked with valuable gems, Vasistha placed the royal crown upon his head and decorated Ram's body with golden ornaments. This crown, formerly worn by all the kings in the Ikshvaku dynasty, was made by Lord Brahma himself, especially for the coronation of Vaivasvata Manu. At Lord Indra's prompting, Vayudev placed a garland made from 100 golden lotus flowers around Ram's neck and presented him with a celestial necklace of pearls and gems. Shatrughna held the royal umbrella over Ram's head as Sugriva and Vibhishan fanned him from both sides. Thereafter, as Gandharvas sang and Apsaras danced in ecstasy, Ram gave in charity 100,000 cows, 300 million gold coins, and all varieties of precious jewels to the Brahmanas. Ram presented Sugriva with a celestial necklace, and he gave Angada a pair of bracelets adorned with diamonds and precious stones. Ram presented Sita a necklace previously given to him by Vayudeva, along with many lavishly decorated dresses. Sita desired to present Hanuman with a gift as a token of her appreciation for all that Hanuman had done for her. With this in mind, Sita unclasped the necklace Ram had given her and looked towards Ram questioningly. Understanding her intention, Ram requested Sita to present the necklace to Hanuman. Thus, Sita happily placed it around Hanuman's neck. And thereafter, all the monkey chiefs were given valuable clothing and ornaments. In this way, Ram's coronation came to a successful conclusion. Completely satisfied at heart, the monkeys then returned to their respective kingdoms, while Vibhishan returned to Lanka. When everyone had taken leave, Ram said to Lakshman, "My dear brother, now that I have been installed upon the throne, I wish for you to be installed as my heir apparent." But despite being urged repeatedly in this way, Lakshman only remained silent, for he refused to accept the proposal. Ram could well understand the mind of Lakshman. Thus, he finally conferred the honor upon his brother Bharat. Lord Ram ruled the earth from his capital, Ayodhya, for 11,000 years. And during that time, Ram performed many sacrifices, including 100 horse sacrifices. During the reign of Lord Ram, the forests, rivers, hills, and mountains, the states, 7 islands, and 7 seas were all favorable in supplying the necessities of life for all living beings. All bodily and mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear, and fatigue were completely absent. And there were no widows to lament the loss of their husbands, nor were there any thieves. Indeed, even wild animals gave up their natural enmity and thus did not kill one another. All the citizens of Ayodhya were fully righteous, always looking towards Ram as their lord and master. And beyond that, they all saw Ram as their life and soul. Everyone lived for thousands of years and had thousands of sons. Why, there was even no death for those who did not want it. All talk centered around Lord Ram alone. Thus, the entire earth appeared as if transformed into the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha. The 2 sons of Ram, Lava and Kush, then concluded their narration. Anyone who listens daily to this wonderful story, known as Ramayana, will become free from all sinful reactions. This sacred narration grants prowess, longevity, and victory to those who subdue their passions and hear it with firm faith. The reader of this Ramayana, if one be a woman, will receive sons. If one is a king, he will conquer the earth. If one is a traveler, one will reach his or her destination. And if one is even a sinful person, one will be purified.